I've loved money since I was a kid. When I was a child, I liked money because it could buy beautiful little dresses. When I went to high school, I liked money because it saved lives. With money, my mother's illness will be cured, and the project money owed to the workers will be paid. So at the age when I should be studying, I worked hard to earn money. I get up before 5 o'clock in the morning to buy breakfast for the dormitory, run all kinds of legs. I do all kinds of dirty work, and I can make more than 200 yuan a day. I am very happy, but the speed at which I make money is still too slow, and my mother can't bear to let me be so tired. So she pulls out the oxygen tube and goes to find my dad. When I went to college, I still had to pay off my debts, and I worked harder and harder to earn money. And whenever I had free time, I went to substitute teaching and worked various part-time jobs to fill my wallet. The rich lady in the dormitory ridiculed me for being born a poor ghost, who was a cow and a horse, and my hard work in one day could not compare to the cost of a meal for her. Hee. I don't bother with her, because the eldest lady introduced me to a big business. Help the eldest lady deal with the blind date. As long as you make people happy, you will give me 200,000 yuan if the two families successfully reach a cooperation. That's 200,000. How many classes do I have to take to earn 200,000 yuan? I agreed without saying a word. The eldest latest blind date is the son of her parents' partner, named Sam Faraday. I heard that I was abducted and trafficked when I was a child, and I didn't find it until I was 16 years old. The whole person is more than 200 pounds, dirty and frustrated, full of acne and autistic tendencies. The eldest lady mentioned Sam Farad's face full of disgust. It's amazing that I didn't jump off the building like this, but I just shut myself up. I'm going to lose my appetite for this kappa to talk to him, and it's better to let me die if I go on a blind date with him. The disparagement between the lines made people frown unconsciously. But a poor sour girl like you is really a good match for that kappa man. Thinking about the 200,000 yuan, I couldn't stop laughing, and I didn't care what she said. Yes, you're right. It's always right to follow the words of the god of wealth. The eldest lady tried to hit my self-esteem, only to find that I didn't have this thing at all. She was disgusted by my flattering face, and immediately threw me a deposit of 100,000 yuan, and told me to stay away and not be an eyesore. 100,000 yuan may be a bag for her, but for me, it is a step closer to liberation. Looking at the transfer of 100,000 yuan, I ran around to make a plan. In order to add Sam Faraday, I deliberately created a trumpet and replaced it with a network map of a pure beauty as an avatar. He was added 5 times with the name of the eldest lady, but he was rejected 5 times in a row. The eldest lady doesn't know that while you hate Sam Faraday doesn't see you much. It's a reverse run. When I blurred the name of Miss Sophia Watt for the 6th time and used Morrible as my screen name, I changed my cute avatar by the way, and finally passed the friend application. It was as if I saw 200,000 waving at me. With a ding knock, Sam Faraday was the first to send the message. Who are you? Is there something wrong? Me, is my brother in love. I'm your #1 fan sister. Cute JPG, and attached a photo of my beautiful legs. I didn't know how to build a relationship quickly, so I read experience posts on the internet. It is said on the internet that even men can't refuse a long-legged beauty who admires them. Get out. I don't make an appointment. It's so irritable. It seems that he not only has autism, but also bipolar disorder. He must have seen that I was thin and white, and my self-esteem was frustrated. I actively enlightened him. Baby, don't be inferior. Although you are short and rich, and weigh more than 200 plus, but it doesn't matter if you're a fat baby. I like you, no matter what. Sam Faraday breaks the defense on the spot. Me, the baby is so good that it can lay eggs. That's great. Sam Faraday, no. What the hell are you trying to do? Me, although they are not optimistic about you, but you are the most irreplaceable in my heart. Baby, in my heart you are the man of men. I'm a self-taught child psychology person, so I have to boast about children who don't have self-confidence. Sam Faraday, don't call me baby. You're so disgusting. I want to come and slap you along the cable. Me, baby can't wait to stick with me. Me too. We are really a good heart. Born a pair tilde. Sam Faraday. You're invincible. When I continued to harass him, A cold red exclamation mark suddenly made me lose all strength and means. I fought for 200,000, and I continued to add him without dying with a thief's heart. Actually, someone paid me to do this. Sam Faraday finally got a reaction. Who? Your mother. I am the blind date that your mother introduced to you. My aunt asked me to cultivate more feelings with you. If I can't complete the task, I will replace me and find you another 108 blind dates. And you don't want to be harassed by 108 people at the same time, Tilda. I'm adding fuel to the fire and talking nonsense. Sam Faraday didn't continue to delete me, and transferred me 50,000 yuan. Do what you have to do. Don't bother me. What kind of kappa is this? This is obviously my boy of scattered wealth. Rich don't make bastards. I replied, don't worry, I'm a natural actor. We just play on the spot. I won't make it difficult for the baby. It's weird. As long as he doesn't delete me, anything is possible. I turned into a licking dog in the name of completing the blind date task, and sent him greetings on time in the morning, noon and evening. It's a pity that all the messages I sent were meat buns beating dogs, and there was no response at all. However, when I was annoyed by my questions, he would sometimes reply perfunctorily. I asked him, how many bowls of rice did the baby eat today? Sam Faraday, 8 bowls. Me. Is there anything sad about eating so little? I'm touting against my will. It is a blessing to be able to eat. It is really beautiful to have so many blessings for the baby, no matter how good the blessing is. Don't be greedy. Sam Faraday, oh, this blessing is for you. Me, baby. You love me too much. You think of me for all good things. Love you, JPG. Sam Faraday. On this day, I was preparing for level 6 in the library, and I was bored and sent a message to Sam Faraday during the break. Baby. I sat diagonally across from a man, wearing a black headset and a black hooded sweatshirt dragged like 20 50 80,000. Not as cute as my treasure at all. I didn't expect him to reply to my daily thoughts, but he replied quickly. Really? It seemed that he was interested in this topic, and I continued to complain. But it's not. He's the same name as your school. I heard that a girlfriend is changed a day without the same, and the 2 big dark circles look empty. Not as good as a baby at all. I didn't forget to blow a rainbow fart while I stepped on it. After crackling and typing, I looked up to find that the dead brother, on the opposite side, was staring at me faintly, with mixed emotions in his eyes. And then, with a click, he pursed his lips with a dead face, and folded the pen in his hand. I mechanically lowered my head, and raised my hand to block half of my face, and I didn't dare to come out. Does he have mind reading? And he knows I'm speaking ill of him. Sam Faraday, virtual. I think this brother is not only vain, but may still be a superhero. Baby, I'm so scared. Sam Faraday replied slowly, don't be afraid. He shouldn't kill you. Maybe he's too excited. I'm so excited to beat me to pieces. I couldn't stand the pressure of staring, so I packed up my things and fled. Sam Faraday seemed to have become a little different under my persistent harassment. He started replying to my messages. I complained to him about the perversion of high numbers, and he couldn't solve the problem. Sam Faraday, what questions were sent? I thought he was doing his trick, and didn't expect him to solve the answer. But after a few minutes he sent me an explanation. Not only is the answer correct, the thinking is clear, and the voice is surprisingly good, with a clear sense of youth. It's completely different from the voice of the 200-pound man I imagined. I struck while the iron was hot, and sent him several questions that I didn't understand. He answered them all for me. I was so excited that I burst into tears. This was a tailor-made tutor for me, and my high math was saved. Baby, you are so good. You can solve such a difficult problem. Sam Farad's chat box bounced back and forth between, the other party is typing, and blank space. After 3 minutes, he replied with a simple, He hesitated for so long, he wouldn't be shy of my praise. I curled the corners of my lips like a pervert. My free teacher, don't run. I became more and more shameless and skinless, so I went to the problem every once in a while and gave positive feedback. Whoa, baby, you're amazing. What can I do without you? Baby, you are my savior. Morrible is amazing with you. I said a baby on the left and a baby on the right, and almost coaxed Sam Faraday into an embryo. As soon as I praised him, he was speechless, and it was too funny. During lunch, I deliberately posted a circle of friends. It's a simple bowl of soup with a vegetarian dish. These days, I always pester Sam Faraday with questions, but he rarely takes the initiative. I'm testing to see if he cares about me even the slightest. I thought it would take a long time, but within a few minutes of sending it out, Sam Faraday took the initiative to find me. He quickly transferred 10,000 yuan to me. Extra meals. It's really hard to talk a lot, I replied pretentiously. The baby is so good to me. I will eat well and not let the baby worry. Ratio JPG. HMM. I have been in close communication with him. He began to share his daily routine with me. His half-hung kittens make me laugh every time. Your kitten must be very similar to you. Sam Faraday, do you like that? I like it. I want to die. Sam Faraday, I like it too. To repay him for his help these days, I studied online to create a healthy weight loss recipe and fitness plan for him. Sam Faraday, didn't you say you like me anyway? And now you think I'm fat? There was a bit of resentment in his tone. Me, no nano. I want you to be healthy and happy more than good looks, and I really want to thank you. I hope he is well, not being looked down upon by others, and not being tormented by illness. Sam Faraday drops a bomb directly. If you really want to thank me, treat me to a meal. As soon as you meet, everything is exposed. Just as I was about to excuse myself, Sophia Watt returned to her dorm room in a menacing manner. It turned out that Sophia Watt's parents had negotiated a deal with Farad's family, and Sophia Watt asked Sam Faraday to dinner anyway. Why should I eat with that dead fat man? I can vomit on the spot when I eat with him. I'm annoyed. I frowned at her slanderous words. Maybe Sam Faraday is not as good as most people in terms of appearance, but he is kind and funny, and this inner beauty cannot be compared to anything. I couldn't help but contradict her. Sam Faraday isn't as bad as you think. Sophia Watt smiled dismissively. Yo, you're still talking about that ugly thing. Shouldn't it be a conversation about feelings? Since you defend him so much, why don't you go for me? What pot with what lid is just right? I was also carried away and promised her directly. Okay, I'll go when the balance is settled. Sophia Watt scolded and transferred the remaining $100,000 to me. So I agreed to Sam Farad's meeting. On the day of the official meeting, Sophia Watt went with me, for fear of me messing up, and supervised me as a friend. When it came to the appointed time, Sam Faraday was slow to show up. Sophia Watt lost her temper with the eldest lady. Why hasn't this dead fat man come yet? Shouldn't he be too ugly to go out? It's a waste of my time. At this moment, a familiar voice came from behind. Morrible. Sophia Watt and I turned around at the same time. The imaginary 200-pound Kappa face did not appear, and what caught the eye was a handsome face with sharp edges and corners. The moment they made eye contact, he smiled and my heart was about to jump out of my throat. Sophia Watt was dumbfounded, stunned for a few seconds, and said, "Are you really Sam Faraday? The young master of the Faraday family?" Sam Faraday bowed. "It's me." Damn, I can't believe that the Kappa blind date man is actually the campus male god Sam Faraday that I mouthed. Thinking of the crickets I used to have in front of the Lord, I want to die. Just when I was stunned, Sophia Watt changed her disgusted face, and stepped forward to hold Sam Farad's arm excitedly, and spoke in a sweet and greasy voice. "Baby, why are you so late? People have been waiting for you, for a long time." Sam Faraday quietly withdrew his arm, twisted his eyebrows and asked, "Are you Morrible?" "Yes, I'm Sophia Watt." "Morrible? Who keeps talking to you? And who is this?" Sam Farad's burning gaze fell on me, as if it wanted to stare me through a hole. "I'm like a thorn in the back. This is my roommate, who came with me on the way." Sam Faraday hooked his lips, his voice cold. "Really? I almost thought she was my Morrible." I tilted my head sideways in a panic and staggered his gaze, and said, "Classmate, you recognize the wrong person. I don't know you." "Oh, I don't know. It's good." His face was inexplicably heavy. I've never exposed my voice or looks in front of Sam Faraday, and he probably won't recognize me. His cold face may be as simple as looking at me in the library. "Morrible Dick, don't you have something to do in a moment? You can go first." Sophia Watt winked at me, deliberately pulling me apart, threatening. Against Sam Farad's gloomy gaze, I left the cafe and returned the two of them. Sophia Watt came back in the evening and lashed out at me. "Morrible Dick, Did you know that Sam Faraday is not fat and looks so good? If I hadn't left a heart to go with you today, would you have planned to fall in love with him? English listening was hearing a critical part interrupted by her. Regarding her accusation of reversing right and wrong, I replied to her, if I had known what else was going on with you, I wouldn't have been here to eat and have nothing to do. Sophia Watt was furious. You, she held out her hand. Give me your chat account. Don't give. Sophia Watt has a hideous face. No, you probably fell in love with Sam Faraday and wanted to seduce him. Fly up the branches and be a phoenix. Persuade you not to daydream. He doesn't look down on poor people like you. Of course I have this self-knowledge, but I just can't get used to her two faces. No, I mean it's another price, and you have to pay more. Chan. I think you're crazy about money. Sophia Watt gave me a hard look. I warn you to stay away from Sam Faraday. In this way, I sold the trumpet for 10,000 yuan, cutting off my connection with Sam Faraday and squeezing out the last bit of his remaining value. That's fine. Sam Faraday and I are not from the same world. I'm just an imposter, and I briefly crossed paths with him as someone else. It's time for everything to get back on track. I'm sorry, Sam Faraday. I lied to you. I got the money I wanted the most, and I don't know why my heart was always empty. In order to suppress this discomfort, I began to substitute teach part-time again like crazy. I thought Sam Faraday and I wouldn't see each other again, but fate always seems to like to joke with people, and I've been meeting Sam Faraday a bit often lately. Whether it's in class, self-study, or part-time work, I can meet him. Just as I wondered if Sam Faraday had discovered something, the queue for food suddenly retreated. The people in front of me retreated, and I was so squeezed that I couldn't stand still, and almost fell to the ground. At this moment, a pair of powerful palms suddenly stretched out from my back to hold me steady, and my back hit the chest of my classmate behind me. I tilted my head slightly, and before I could say the word thank you, I saw Sam Faraday looking at me, with his eyes down. The sound of his heartbeat made my ears tingle. For a while, my heart was beating like a drum, and I didn't even hear the apology from my classmates in front of me. I quickly broke free from his hand, and stood firm to thank him. Sam Faraday. Thank you. Sam Faraday curled his lips. Doesn't that mean anything? I thought he would politely say that it was okay, but who would have thought that he had lied to me? And what do you want? Sam Faraday thought for a moment. Invite me to dinner, I said perfunctorily. Okay, another day. Before he could finish speaking, Sam Faraday continued. Don't change the day. Just now. Sam Faraday ordered everything he could see. It's such a big rice bucket. My heart is bleeding. As usual, I just had a vegetarian dish. When he was about to swipe his meal card, Sam Faraday had already pasted his meal card on it. It's a bit of a loss for you to invite me to eat in the cafeteria, so you'll invite me next time. I really want to treat him to a gun. I put the plate in the corner, bought a bottle of water, and came back to find that there were several more plates in front of me, all of which were made by Sam Faraday. Sam Faraday was sitting across from me, with a smile on his face. What do you mean? I can't eat so much by myself. I poured out a waste of food, and I will post a bulletin board when I am photographed by surveillance. So please help me, slap a swollen face and become fat. I really think I am a big stomach. I helped you this time, so what you helped me at that time, we wrote it off. The corners of Sam Faraday's mouth curled. Okay, deal. I sat down to eat in peace. I hadn't eaten such a hearty dish in a long time. Just as I was feasting, Sam Faraday suddenly spoke. Morrible. I hadn't swallowed my meal yet, and I subconsciously raised my head. Heh. Facing Sam Faraday's dark pupils, I snapped back to my senses, and said in a hurry, you say Sophia Watt. Sophia Watt doesn't like to eat cafeterias. Sam Faraday raised an eyebrow playfully. Oh, I thought you were morrible, when you reacted so much. How is that possible? I pretended to be calm, but in fact I panicked. As I was talking, Sam Faraday suddenly raised his hand, and touched my face with his fingertips, and half of my face was tingling. I was so scared that I almost fell off my stool. I covered my flushed face and couldn't hold my tongue straight. What are you doing? There's a grain of rice in the corner of your mouth. I'll take it off for you. It's a warm and skillful movement. It seems that the gossip is 80% true. He is afraid that he wants to change his girlfriend again, and he is tired of eating big fish and meat, so he will eat porridge and side dishes. Dead scumbag. I gave Sam Faraday a blank look. I'm full. I'll go first. I picked up my plate and was about to leave, when someone bumped me in the back. The oily vegetable soup was spilled right on Sam Faraday's shirt. One piece of his dress can cover my living expenses for a few months. The cafeteria is full of people, and the person who hit me has long since disappeared. It's over. I want to cry without tears. Wish it or cash. Sam Faraday, are you the devil? I laughed happily. You see that you have been wearing this dress for so long, and have feelings. You must be reluctant to throw it away, or I will wash it for you. I promise it will be like new. I tried to convince him with a series of arguments, but I didn't expect him to give me room to play. Okay, wash it for me. I'll pick it up when it's washed. Sam Faraday didn't have a hint of mud and water, as if he was just waiting for my words. I reasonably suspect he's manipulating me, but I have no proof. I reluctantly added his wash it. As everyone knows, this scene is all in the view of Sophia Watt, who is standing in the corner. She clasped against the wall. Her eyes were vicious, and her mouth was full of words. Slut. Vixen. If it's not you, Sam Faraday, who likes me. In the evening, I was watching a movie in my dorm room, and when I saw a very funny clip, I picked up my phone as usual and was about to share it with Sam Faraday, and suddenly realized that I was no longer morable. I thought to myself, it's a terrible thing to get used to. At this time, a message from Sophia Watt popped up on the phone. Morrible Dick has a job to earn and can't come. Give you half an hour. I looked at my phone, and it was already 11 o'clock in the evening. Coming soon. I quickly got dressed, went out just before the door closed on my dorm building, and rode my bike share to the bar from Sophia Watt. I put my stunned emotions behind me. Nothing is more important than making money, isn't it? When I arrived at the box, I was drenched in the rain. Sophia Watt is celebrating her friend's birthday. A group of rich second generations had a good time, and the music was deafening. Noticing that I was coming, Sophia Watt, sitting in the middle of the couch, beckoned to me. You see, my dog is coming. It's less than half an hour. If you lose, give me a drink. It turned out to be Sophia Watt, making a bet with a friend. She said that as long as she said a word, I would run over obediently like a dog, and I would not dare not come even if there was a knife outside. Sophia Watt cow. I didn't have time to pay attention to their boring hype, so I got straight to the point and asked, so what are you talking about making money? Sophia Watt pouted disdainfully. What's the hurry? Take as much as you want from a glass of wine on the table. 5,000. Do you dare? There were 2 full rows of high-strength spirits on the table, and a neat pile of red bills. I've calculated my father's remaining debts, and I'll be able to pay off half of them this time. I mustered up the courage to go to the table, picked up my glass, and drank it down. Heroic. The spicy irritation runs through the intestines. The surrounding commotion was louder and louder. Cup after cup. Every time I take a drink, I cross out a bar in my heart. After a few glasses of hard liquor, my head swelled and my limbs went weak, and the burning sensation in my stomach hit me. The sounds around you flickered and flickered. I pushed myself on. At this time, a groping pig hand crept up my thigh, and a sticky and disgusting gaze lingered on me. Beauty, do you want to play with my brother? How about 100,000 a night? Fuck off. I pinched my thighs to clear myself up, pushing his body closer to me. That's when I saw Sophia Watt sitting on the couch watching me molested. Our morrible Dick has been through a lot of battles, and we have used it well, so 100,000 is a bit too little. Sophia Watt maliciously spread rumors, and her eyes were full of resentment. Morrible Dick, don't pretend. Jackson is willing to pay 100,000 to lift you. Don't be ignorant. I didn't expect her to have so much malice towards me. It turns out that you have been played with rotten and pretended to be a chase martyr, and giving you 10,000 yuan for your kind of goods is to promote you. The other party thinks that I want to refuse and welcome back, and is ready to make a bow to the overlord. An angry voice came from beside me. Fuck off. The man was kicked to the base of the wall. The noisy box suddenly fell silent. Sam Faraday crouched down and held my face to look left and right, worry overflowing his eyes. Is Morrible okay? The lights in the box were dazzling, and I was dazzled. How could I see Sam Faraday? My tense nerves instantly loosened, and I rubbed his face in drunkenness. He, you're a fat baby. Sam Faraday smiled and put his arm around my shoulder. Well, I am. Dare to kick me. I'm tired. The man clutched his chest and cursed, and was silenced when he saw Sam Faraday's face. Sam Faraday. The man was so frightened that he crawled to his knees in front of Sam Faraday and begged for mercy. Sam Faraday, I didn't know it was your person. Me. Sam Faraday slammed the bottle against the edge of the table with a calm face, stabbing the sharp and irregular body into the back of the man's hand. Terrible screams resounded in the box. I don't want it. I can handle it for you. Sam Faraday's cold words trembled as he listened. He reached out to the few people who were huddled on the couch and shivering with their heads in their hands. Sam Faraday. What else? Sam Faraday frowned impatiently and said, money. My girlfriend was scared to see blood and didn't want to pay for mental damage. Edo, quick. Hurry up and give Sam Faraday the money. Several people respectfully handed a large wad of bills to Sam Faraday. Sophia grabbed Sam Faraday's sleeve aggrievedly. Sam Faraday, get out. Sam Faraday gave her a scornful look. Sophia pouted in hurt. Sam Faraday, you can't do this. I'm your girlfriend. Hey, I made it clear to you a long time ago that you are not the person I am looking for. You know what is going on. Will be calculated slowly in the future. Sam Faraday's icy voice was chilling. Sophia let go of her hand in fright. Then Sam Faraday hugged me and left the box without looking back. In the middle of the night, the lonely moonlight stretched the overlapping backs of Sam Faraday and me very long. After the rain, a cold wind blew, and people shivered with cold. I lay on Sam Faraday's back and subconsciously approached the heat and hugged his neck. His body is so generous and warm, as if he was carefree, lying on his father's back when he was a child. I held a handful of red bills in my hand, swaying in the wind. Fat baby, you see I have a lot of money. I can treat you to steak. My head was hot, and I muttered drunken words. Well, Morrible was so nice to me. Sam Faraday patiently responded to my words. Suddenly, a cold wind blew in my face, and the money was blowing on my face. It stinks. It's a mixture of disgusting banknotes, but they can easily take people's lives. Mom and Dad, you see that I have a lot of money. I can pay off my father's debts and treat my mother's illness. Can you come back and see how I am? The sky was dark and oppressive, and the street lamps not far away were mistaken for stars by me. I make a ridiculous request to the false sea of stars. Tilting his head, tears poured out unconsciously. A drop burned on Sam Faraday's neck. Why didn't they come to see me? Was it because I wasn't good? I asked with tears in my eyes. Mom and Dad, I'm so lonely and tired. Sam Faraday's voice trembled. Good. Morrible is the best. Then why? Mom and Dad, I really want to see you. On Earth, in hell, anywhere. I just want to see you. Sam Faraday put me in the back seat of the taxi, gently wiped my tears with his fingertips, and took me in his arms. Because Morrible is so sensible. Mom and Dad can't help but want to cry when they see such a sensible Morrible. Adults are the most pretending. They don't want to be seen in tears. And one day when Morrible easily lives only for herself, Mom and Dad will come to see it in their dreams. Mirabel. Really? I looked up wistfully into Sam Faraday's eyes, his eyes steaming with moisture as if it was going to rain in the next second. Sam Faraday smiled and kissed the top of my hair, the tenderness in his eyes about to overflow. Really? I'm Mirabel's puppy. I pursed my mouth, pinched Sam Faraday's face, and muttered to myself, why aren't you a kappa of 200 pounds? Then Sophia will hate you, and I can like you. You are shining now, so far away from me. I know it's mean for me to think so, but I can't help but miss the days before I didn't know what Sam Faraday looked like. Sam Faraday stretched my eye sockets wide. Morrible, look at me. How good I am in your heart. How good you are. You are great. You deserve better. When I woke up the next day, I was surrounded by unfamiliar circumstances. I looked at my clothes, which were pretty well dressed. I covered my head and shook it. My memories of last night were shattered. I just remember that it was Sam Faraday who helped me out and brought me out when I was being bullied. Wait, who? Sam Faraday. At this moment, the door opened, and Sam Faraday walked to my bedside wearing an apron and carrying a bowl of porridge. Wake up. Isn't it uncomfortable? I watched dumbfounded, as Sam Faraday put his hand on my forehead. You dare to drink such a high-level wine? Don't you die? Coming back to my senses, I ducked backwards. Suddenly, I looked sideways and saw several stacks of bills at the head of the bed. What is this? Sam Faraday sneered. Your record. I scratched my forehead to hide my embarrassment. I remember I hadn't drunk that much. Could it be that my second personality ran out and drank it for me? Sam Faraday, thank you for helping me yesterday. The great kindness is unforgettable. Sam Faraday's eyes turned dangerous for a moment. He sneered, pressed me against the head of the bed, and gritted his teeth with red eyes. Liar. A few days ago, I called people baby, and when I turned my head, I turned my face and didn't recognize people, and called classmates. For a moment my mind went blank. I hooked my lips and tried to pull out a smile. Sam Faraday's dark eyes reflecting my lonely wry smile. You know it all. I bowed my head. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have teamed up with Sophia What to lie to you. My throat felt like it was stuffed with a piece of wet cotton. He grabbed my arm with increasing force. I don't want to hear you say I'm sorry. I just want to hear you say you like me. I lifted my head in disbelief and crashed into his burning gaze. I thought he would be disgusted with me, despised me, disgusted with me when he learned the truth. I didn't expect him to continue to like me. I promised Sophia What to pretend to please you because of money. I lied to you about those words. I can open my eyes and talk nonsense for money. I can sell the trumpet that chats with you. I am a person who sees money. I laid my darkness naked in front of him in an attempt to scare him away. Sam Faraday rubbed my cheek. So what? Even if I am tricked by you, I am willing. I only look at the result. As long as you like me, it is enough. I don't. Before he finished speaking, he seemed to anticipate what I was going to say, and took the first step to gag my mouth. Drunken spit out the truth. You confessed to me more than once last night. I recorded it. Don't try to quibble. Sam Faraday held up his phone and was about to play the recording. 2. Lose. Person. Finish. I rushed over to grab his phone. I knelt down at either side of his waist and leaned down to reach for it. When I realized how warm our distance was, Sam Faraday raised his head and pecked my lips. Morrible. I like you too. I blushed with shame and burrowed into the quilt. I went back to my dorm room to settle accounts with Sophia Watt. Yesterday's incident was clearly a trap, and she deliberately led me to drink and was going to find someone to assault me. If it weren't for Sam Faraday, I might be sitting in the police station right now. Walking downstairs in the dormitory, people came and went looking at me whispering, looking at me with disdainful eyes. This is that little San. It's really shameless. I heard that Tetsu works hard to substitute and work part-time every day. Who knows if you're looking for a Golden Beetle son-in-law? After all, isn't her roommate's rich boyfriend being pried by her? Sure enough, the upper beam is not right and the lower beam is crooked. His father is not a good thing, and his daughter is not much better. I was so angry that my hands trembled, and I scolded me for scolding my parents for working hard, and I had to defend it. I grabbed the girl by the arm. Who do you say isn't a good thing? Do you dare to do it, or let people say it? Don't touch me. Who knows what's wrong with you? She broke free of my hand. She rolled her eyes when she saw that I was confused. What are you pretending to? All the dirty things you did have been exposed by people on the confession wall. I hurried back to my dormitory and opened the campus confession wall. A crusade against me is impressive. The contributor is Sophia Watt. She accused me of shamelessly seducing her mother for the blind date she introduced to her for money. And after she found out, not only did she not repent, but she said cruel words. She talked about one and I pry one, and she begged me to raise my noble hand and return her boyfriend to her. Reading between the lines implies that my private life is chaotic and dirty, and she also made my family situation public without authorization, framing my father as an old man who owes money and does not pay it back, and our family is the scum of society. A series of cropped and altered photographic evidence is attached. There were hundreds of floors under the post, and the insults almost swallowed me up. This kind of person is so scary. On the surface he is friends with people, but he pries other people's objects behind his back. What a family of scum. Suggesting that the school expel this scum. At X-Baby remembers to stay away from this kind of shameless woman in the future. I heard that she still sells it, 10,000 at a time. It's so expensive. It's gold inlaid. Can you join the group? Ha 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 ha. The comment section says how ugly it is. I'm Sophia Watt. You really have a way of reversing black and white. That's when I saw a voice call from Sam Faraday. Upon connecting, Sam Faraday's tone was flustered. Morrible. Did you see the confession wall? Don't be afraid, I'll take care of it. Thank you, Sam Faraday. But I want to clarify myself that I can handle this little thing myself. After all, I survived all the difficulties on my own. So what is this? Sam Faraday smiled. Okay, Morrible is the best. You can do the rest of your thing. Leave it to me. A long-lost sense of security rose in my heart. I sorted out the evidence at hand, and sent the edited text to the confession wall. But it still hadn't been sent out after an hour. It seems that Sophia Watt bought off the management and deliberately made me suffer a dumb loss. Thinking that I would not be able to do anything about it, I logged in to the campus wall as a manager and uploaded the clarifying evidence. The traffic on Magnum Wall was a bit better than that of Confession Wall, and it didn't take long for someone to notice my post. I presented the beginning and end of the 200,000 transfer she gave me to let me deal with the blind date for her without reservation. Former. Attached is the original recording of her insulting Sam Faraday's body in the dorm room and asking me to help deal with it. I admit that I'm doing unethical things for money, but Sophia Watt's approach is even more despicable. Sophia Watt probably didn't expect me to record. After all, I only ate this loss once. When I was a tutor after the college entrance examination, I was maliciously lowered by my parents, and directly cut half of the original price, denying the promised price before, and I had no evidence but to suffer a loss. Since then, whenever there is a monetary issue, I will keep some pictures or audio recordings. I also responded to the remarks that my dad was a lie. When my dad contracted the project, the developer ran away and owed a huge amount of arrears. Our family sold houses and cars but still couldn't fill this hole. My dad was driven into a delirium and jumped off the rooftop, and my mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and eventually pulled myself out of the oxygen tube, so as not to drag me down. I didn't let that stop me. After finding my father's crumpled and sanded ledger, I took on my father's burden, and worked hard to earn money to pay off my debts all these years. Every amount of arrears has been recorded in detail by me, thousands and tens of thousands, and I have never had the idea of giving up. I took photos of the accounts and uploaded them, and every transaction was clear and traceable, and there was no fraud. The polls in the comment section are reversed, and Sophia Watt's mask of hypocrisy is completely torn apart. This Sophia Watt is also too. She looks down on people and scolds other Kappa for spending money to let others deal with it. But when she sees that others are good looking, she breaks her defense and turns against her. And she also beats a rake to smear others, which is really eye-opening. If Sam Faraday is really a 200-pound fat man, Sophia Watt can't wait to stay away from him. Lao Tzu will be convinced of this face-watching world. What's wrong with the fat man? I provoked you. I hate people. You clearly refuse. When you take benefits, you laugh more than anyone else. Scold people behind your back, and welcome them, and stand up. Sophia Watt wishes you to marry the Kappa you hate and have 8 sons. If I were Morrible Dick, I really wouldn't be able to live. My parents died and left me with such a big debt. The sky is falling, and the slightest difficulty can crush me. I cried. Morrible Dick is too powerful. It's just a woman among women. Sam Faraday, another party to the incident, also responded. My favorite has always been Morrible Dick. She used the screen name Morrible to add me. I passed just because the girl I liked happened to be called this name, and then I found out that it was really her. I was overjoyed. I never had a moment to think of Mirabel Sophia Watt. Favorite girl. As I pondered, Sophia Watt opened the dorm room door and threw herself in front of me. Morrible Dick, I was wrong. I shouldn't have slandered you. Please let Sam Faraday let me go. Don't fire me. Don't mess with my dad's company. I beg you. It turned out that Sophia Watt was suspected of illegal operations in the college entrance examination and was reported, and the school decided to expel Sophia Watt after verification. Sophia Watt's father's company was exposed to non-compliant products containing toxic substances, and its stock price plummeted and faced bankruptcy. All of this should be the work of Sam Faraday. I turned a deaf ear to her pleadings, and if I hadn't kept an eye on them, I would have been the one who was kneeling on the ground and begging now. Impossible. Sophia What grabbed the corner of my coat like a demon from hell, her voice sharp and piercing. Morrible Dick, you can't be so ruthless. If it weren't for me, how would you know Sam Faraday? You're crossing the river and tearing down bridges. Slut, slut. I pushed her away. Even if I don't meet Sam Faraday, I will always try to go higher. I will still meet better people. Not Sam Faraday, maybe someone else. Not that they are confused by me. It is me who is good. I deserve more love. Sophia What shuddered, pulled a needle out of her pocket and stabbed me. I ducked backwards to avoid being stabbed by her. At this time, Sam Faraday rushed into the dormitory with the security guard and the dormitory aunt and pinned her to the ground. The syringe in her hand gurgled to my feet, and inside was a tube of bright red blood. Gotta AIDS. Slut. I held onto the table and felt my heart pound for a moment, and for the first time I felt that death was so close to me. Sam Faraday took me in his arms and touched my back to comfort me. It's okay, Morrible. Don't be afraid. Sophia What won't hurt you anymore. For the rest of my life. I held Sam Farad's hand tightly and soaked in warmth. Overnight, Sophia What went from being a glamorous lady to a runaway from a prestigious university, and the family was in hiding in Tibet with huge debts. After a while, my life returned to peace. I'm still trying to make money to pay off my debts. When I paid back the workers who followed my dad as usual, I was told that the arrears had been paid off. I can't think of anyone else who can help me pay back but Sam Faraday. So I approached Sam Faraday and said, "Did you help me pay my arrears?" Sam Faraday nodded. "Are you angry?" His intention was to help me, and I certainly wouldn't be angry. "Now that you are my creditor, I will pay you back this money slowly." I leaned over to look at him. "I don't want you to think I'm grateful to you. I just like you as Sam Faraday. In the past, I could only run forward desperately without daring to stop, and even my heart would be regarded by me as a sense of panic forced by life. Now I want to heed the call from the bottom of my heart and work hard for my own happiness." Sam Farad's expression was lingering and fiery. "Okay, but I hope you have to slow down the money, and it's better to slow it down for the rest of your life, so that I have a reason to pester you for the rest of my life, girlfriend." There was a breeze outside the window, and the blue curtain was rolled up to cover us kissing. Heartbeat and love grow day by day in this summer. Extras. Male protagonist perspective. My name is Sam Faraday, and my name was Joe way before I found my biological parents. When I was 15 years old, I was transferred to a new secondary school due to illness. Because of the long-term medication, I became very fat under the stimulation of hormones, and everyone called me fat, laughed at me, hated me, and didn't want to sit at the same table with me. Only one girl, Morrible Dick, offered to sit at the same table with me. She has a round face, she always likes to nap in history class, and she has an inexplicable sense of coquettishness when she laughs, which makes people can't help but want to get closer. She is honest and hearty, honest and generous, and her classmates love to play with her. I asked her why she wanted to be at the same table with me. She said that it was too cold in winter, and I could sit next to her to shield her from the wind. I knew it was just a joke, but I thought I was glad I had a big body to keep her out of the cold wind of winter. Whenever someone called me fat, she rushed forward to reason with others, protect me behind me like a hen guarding her cubs, and said angrily, "Roman is my tablemate. Whoever dares to bully him, I will beat him to death." Even though I'm a little smaller, I still want to protect me. I couldn't take my eyes off her at that moment. She said, "Roman, we are at the same table. We are a community of destiny, and to bully you is to bully me." I remember this sentence for many years. My illness worsened during the summer vacation. My family could not afford my medical bills, and just when I was desperate, my biological parents found me. I had surgery one holiday, and my condition was much better. I desperately wanted to tell Morrible the good news, but I couldn't find her again. She changed schools, and the family moved out of the original city, and no one knew where they went. I've been looking for her, but to no avail. With this heavy thought, I went all the way to college. Just when I felt like I would never meet her again in my life, a girl with the screen name, Morrible, added me, and her avatar was inexplicably similar to her. I was approved by her friend application. Her purpose is so obvious that she is annoyed to death, and the ghost sent me to not delete her, until one day, she complained to me about what she had seen in the library, and I subconsciously looked up to find the person I had been thinking about day and night sitting diagonally across from me. At that moment, my heart was beating out of balance. I didn't expect to go to the same university as her. I was amazed at how she had changed in just 4 years. She has lost a lot of weight, and her fleshy little face has become very thin, and there is no meat on her body. Reading between the lines, I deduced that the girl who added me was Morrible Dick. Unfortunately, she didn't recognize me. Also, I've changed so much that even my former parents didn't dare to recognize me when they saw me. But it doesn't matter. Fate still meets and intersects. I don't know what the purpose of her frequent overtures is. I just know that this time I won't let myself have any more regrets. The end.